Okay, so we've done some opening, we've done some sun salutations and flow and some standing poses, and put together it's sort of a class, maybe a little bit more intro because I know some people are new to yoga, but we'll also do some seated poses for now. And what seated poses can be is something really great at the end of a day, if you're just doing this video, or it'll feel really good after we've done all of the standing poses and the sun salutations, because it really opens up the hips a little more. And you know, the hips, I call them the gateways to the low back, so it feels really good to open that up. And it's also very restorative because we're doing a lot of weight bearing at the base of our spine and our low back and our hips. So go ahead and just come to a comfortable seat position. You can be on the floor, you can be on a yoga mat, whatever feels good to you, just as long as you have space. And take the soles of the feet together. And I'm going to slide back a little so you can see me. I'm going to slide this way so you can see me. So soles of the feet together and just the knees in an easy bend. Don't pull your feet all the way in. Just have the feet what I would call a wide diamond. Just take your hands to the ankles and soften the elbows, tuck the chin, let the head go. And I'm going to talk to the camera, but just stay with your head heavy and just breathe. When you breathe in this position, notice the low back, the feeling in your low back. The main thing that you'll start to feel as you're in this position is shifting the weight off the low back. And that is an important thing to do here, is just get the weight off the low back so those muscles can decompress. And then just soften your face, soften your eyes, soften your throat, soften your jaw, all those areas that we tend to clench. Soften your eyebrows and just soften your tongue even. Soften like the top of the roof of your mouth. And just let the head kind of feel like you're hanging heavy. So that's a really nice feeling as well. And when you're doing that, notice where the breath can go. Breathe into your back like you're inflating your back body. And then when you exhale, actively engage the abdominals like you're creating this concave shape on the front side of your body. And it's also, as you can imagine, inward looking position. Even with your eyes closed, like this just idea that we would look back at ourselves, and not like in a selfish or self-centered kind of way, but just like reflecting on like, who am I? Like, what am I about? What are my values? How did I spend my time? How will I spend my time? Any of these questions are really meaningful to consider as we go about our day. And especially in this time of, you know, uncertainty, and there's a lot of fear going on and a lot of precautions, and we could go in extreme if we allow ourselves to. So just allow yourself to just like really reconnect with you and who you are and what you're up to in this life. And just breathe that in, like, I am up to being the best mom I can be. I'm committed to being the best wife or partner or husband that I can be. Like, these kinds of questions will and can arise as we get in touch with our life and our breath. So just take your time, use your hands, slowly push yourself up and extend your left leg out. And then right foot comes in. Doesn't have to be all the way inside the thigh, just anywhere bent. And then take a pillow or a block, under the right knee, and just put it there for now. You can probably take it away if there's no strain or stress. And then inhale, lift the arms up, again like you're touching the ceiling. Take your right hand to your outer left thigh, and then just twist a little. Just move your torso to face a little bit more to your left, And then lift both arms up, take a long breath, reach for the ceiling. And then as you exhale, reach forward and down. When you're here, your body will start to let you know how much is too much. So if it feels like strain and your face kind of cringed when you went forward, bend the left knee, the leg that was straight, bend the left knee and just soften that. You can put the pillow or the block under there. But get to a position where your torso is forward. Let the head go. Instead of nose to the knee, think your chin towards your shin. So it's a little lift and extension of your torso. And then as you're here, just soften. Soften your head, neck, soften your shoulders. Again, soften your jaw, your throat, your eyes. And just let yourself lengthen over the leg. So a few places where you'll feel stretch. Left hamstring and right side low back. Let those muscles soften and lengthen. And when you get that, so those are muscles that hold us in place, that hold our weight-bearing muscles in our body. Allow yourself to just soften. Soften in like the inner gripping. Like sometimes we hold on to like, it's gotta go my way. I gotta get this person to do what I want them to do. Like let go of all of that holding as well, which takes a lot of inner work, inner awareness, and kind of just being gentle with yourself. So these seated poses are really meant to create a softening and an easiness inside. Take another deep breath. And then use your hands against your shin or against the floor to slowly inhale to come up. And then step your right foot, the knee that's bent, over. And then you're just going to take the right hand behind you, lift the left arm, and then either wrap the arm around, or you can take the tricep to the outer thigh, and then look over your right shoulder. So I'm going to keep talking towards the camera so it captures my voice, but look over your right shoulder, and then draw your right shoulder back in space. Use your left hand to just gently guide the right knee towards the center, but then anchor down your right sit bone. Use your right hand on the floor to sit up tall. And then again, really connect to your breathing. Notice your breathing. Breathe deeper. Again, twisting releases the muscles that hold us upright and become tense in our back body. It also gives a kind of a little massage, what they might call a massage, or I kind of think of it as different kinds of pressure points on our organs, which really help to release a lot of just our inner holding as well. Like when you get nervous and you get that butterfly feeling, like those are, nerves, but also like muscles will hold us in place and kind of clench and forget to release once we're out of that situation. So our bodies are really meant to kind of keep us surviving. So they'll hold on even though we've left or finished a stressful situation. So just take 2 more long deep breaths, really, really deep in. Get to empty, guide the ribs around to your right. Another breath like that. And then just slowly release it. Step onto your left foot so your right ankle is still on the knee. And then shift your hips forward, and then you'll start to feel that right hip. And if it's too much, like beyond a 7, shift your hips back, walk your hands back. If you're looking for a little more sensation, take the hands forward, shift the hips forward, stay here. Make sure the right knee feels safe. And we're opening the hip, the right hip. For advanced practitioners, feel like you're using your left knee to draw your right ankle towards your shoulder. And then feel like you've got a third hand pressing that right knee away. So it feels intense, but again, not like you're straining. Like if we strain through life, what that looks like off the mat is like the martyr syndrome. I've got it. I'm going to do everything, take everybody's load off of yours, and I'm going to strain and stress. That's the feeling. off the mat. But if you stay in a place that feels like you're in it and you're feeling it, but you can still breathe deeply, that's like a 7. That on a scale of 1 to 10. It's intense, but it's not deadly. Like you can still breathe, and you can, in this position, really let these muscles that are our stabilizers release. Go ahead and shift your hips back and release the legs, and just kind of notice the difference between left and right. So it's a new day. I did one side but not the other side because my camera actually lost power or died, used all the battery life, and so I couldn't charge it, and by the time I did, the light was dark, and so really natural lighting is the best for filming for me in this space. So I'm going to do the other side that we were doing, and then we'll do Shavasana. So go ahead and just come to the other side. So I think it's the left knee that's bent, and if your leg is all the way up here, go ahead and put a pillow under that. So this is actually kind of a flat pillow. So if you need to, you can double it. And just make sure it's comfortable. Don't feel like you have to pull your heel up into the top of the thigh. Just an easy, comfortable bend. And then go ahead and inhale and extend and really reach up. So I'm always talking about like really lengthen the spine whenever you have the opportunity. Not just arms up, but really lift up from here. And then just take the left hand to the outer right thigh for now. Just kind of adjust the torso so it turns a little to the right of the right leg. What you'll feel is a really nice opening through the left side low back, and that feels really good. So go ahead and extend the arms out. Feel like you're reaching and lifting from the ribs, and then exhale and reach over. So this pose is called Janu Shirsasana. And I'm going to lift my head, but you drop the head. Really let the head and neck release. Tuck the chin, soften your face, just tune into your breathing. And this pose is called Janu Shirsasana, and it's a very common pose, like runners use it a lot. What's really nice about it is not only does it stretch the hamstring it does one side and then it does the other side. So you're not stretching both hamstrings at the same time because we might have some imbalances. Excuse me. And so it gives you just the opportunity to be with that side and how it feels and to stay as long as feels good. Because when you are a little tighter on one side or the other, stay on that tighter side a little longer. Like stay till you feel that like, oh, so good, nice release. And don't feel like you rush it. When we're in classes, and I feel this way, is that, we're just really, the best that we can do is something that's good for a lot of people. But when you're practicing at home, like just stay until it feels like a really good, easy place. Like I said, on that scale of 1 to 10, like you might start at like a 7 and just stay till it feels like it's at a 5. That difference is like you're releasing all the muscles that are holding you in place. And what happens then is the muscles, so not only the muscle tissue gets to release, but all the nerves that are embedded in the muscle soften. They don't have all that muscle holding them in place, and so the nervous system starts to relax. Okay, so go ahead and finish the exhalation. Use your hands, push your torso away, and then step your left foot over the right leg. And then go ahead and take the left hand behind you, twist to your left. You're going to wrap your arm around, or you're going to take the elbow across. Look over your left shoulder. I'm going to face the camera so it captures my voice, but use your left hand, push it into the ground, sit up tall, so that gives you that really nice lengthening through the spine. And then use your right arm, if it's wrapped around or your tricep is to the outer thigh, use it to hug the knee, the leg, towards the right. So again, at the beginning, I was telling you that twists take the hips and the shoulders in a 90-degree angle. It doesn't have to be exactly 90, just somewhere in that direction to release the spine, release the muscles that are attached to the spine. And then also a really nice, like, gentle pressure to different parts of our organs, because we're usually just like facing forward. So something feels really good. It feels really good to just really soften, give a different pressure point to our organs. So guide the left shoulder back. Look over your left shoulder. You can also drop your chin towards your left shoulder. You can drop the left ear towards the left shoulder and really lengthen the right side of the neck. And it feels really good because our head neck is always like held in place for one thing when we're looking at something, and then just automatically looking towards a bright light, a nice color, or something shiny, or something that's moving. Like, our eyes are meant to react that way. So what helps to just whenever we can release the muscles in the neck, there's so much tension that's held there. So take a deep breath and then exhale. Just slowly unravel the twist, looking forward. Step onto your right foot, and then you'll have your hands behind you. Shift your hips forward, and then just lean your shoulders towards your shin, as though you had a third hand and it was pressing the left knee away, and as though you're drawing your right knee towards your right shoulder. You can just close your eyes. It's a pretty deep hip opening. It's like the shape of pigeon, only you're seated. And I've said this before, either in this video or in my classes, but the hips are like the gateway to the low back. And so when the hips start to open and release, the low back then starts to release. And that's a place where there's a lot of pressure, just from our standing or sitting a lot, or ergonomics. So take another breath, and then just shift out of that. Release the legs. Maybe just bend and straighten the legs. And then come back to what we call Baddha Konasana. So we started here at the beginning of the sequence. Soles of the feet together. This time you can slide the feet a little bit in, but don't feel like you have to have them all the way in. That's not what it's about. Have the ankles comfortable. So if you're on wood floor, I would suggest maybe sometimes you could just put your fingers under your ankles, or you can come onto a mat or put your socks under your ankles, because those are kind of bony points. And then hands at your heels or ankles, and then just again come into an easy forward fold. Let the head soften. I'm going to come up so you can hear me, but let the head soften, and really let the rounding of the back not just be the low back, because that's where we were at the very beginning of this sequence, where we were just really feeling that shift off the base of the spine. Really feel the upper back and the neck also start to release, and then relax your shoulders. If you can, try taking the arms, the forearms, under your shins. And so when you're here, the heaviness of your shins on your forearms really helps to relax the shoulders. And then just take another breath. Go for empty, 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 empty. And then slowly inhale to come up. Come to an easy cross-legged position. So again, you could do this on the floor. If you're much comfortable in a chair or on a stool, that's totally fine. But just bring your attention back to yourself. Close the eyes or soften the gaze. Or again, if you like to look at me, that's totally fine. As long as you can just tune into your breath. Notice where you're breathing now that you weren't breathing when you started. So maybe that's in the shoulders, maybe that's a little bit more space in the neck and the upper back, low back, abdomen, sides of the torso. We really touched on every big area of muscle in our body in this practice. Just notice, what does it feel like to have that space available for breath? Just notice what you feel more connected to in terms of your life, like what it feels like to be in your body, grateful to have a body that works, grateful to have work that we love and do well. Really notice what is this life about? Because the closer we get to knowing, and the more often we get to tapping into that, the more, I don't know if the word is serious or connected or purposeful that you'll be in your life. You know, if you're just what's next, or what's new, or what can I fill up my time doing, that's a lot of busyness and what I call surface noise. But when you get to wow, I really want to have impact, or my kids really need me, or my parents are in a very tender stage right now and I want to be present to them. All of those awarenesses really help us to be more present and purposeful in what we do. So I hope this yoga practice has been helpful. The last session will be, for today, March 16th, will be Shavasana. So come back for that.